frequent here. And we have an opportunity today to welcome in our inaugural, I can't say inaugural because we have to do it more than once for it to be an inaugural, but in our first virtual fair for Study Michigan, I'm going to welcome in our first presenter of the day, and that's Tara Braun. Tara is at Calvin University in Michigan, and she is going to share with us today the important topic of why you should study in Michigan. Tara, take it away.
Well, thank you, Marty, for that great introduction and for explaining how the fair is going to be laid out today. I am so excited to welcome you all. I appreciate you taking time to hear about all of our schools in Michigan and just hear a little bit more about our state and what our state has to offer. So as Marty mentioned, I am going to be presenting today on why study in Michigan. So there's many reasons, and I'm going to review all of them with you this morning. First of all, I just want to say the sun is starting to come out here in Michigan. It's going to be an absolutely beautiful day. It's springtime here in Michigan. So that means that the flowers are all coming out. Everything's coming back to life after winter. And I really love this time of year when everything is just so vibrant and colorful. Michigan is located in the Midwest of America. And it's on the border with Canada. And we also contain 4 of the Great 5 lakes. As you can see from the photo here, if you can see Michigan in the orange there on the upper right, it does look like a hand, right? It looks like a mitten. And one of the big things in Michigan here, if you live here, is that you kind of show people where you live using your hand because it represents the state. So we are called the Mitten State. And as we refer to it, the Great Lakes State, we have many dynamic cities and inspiring landscapes. As I already described, spring is very well on its way here in Michigan. We also contain many great colleges and universities, many of who are going to be presenting and you have the opportunity to speak to today. We are the 8th most populated state within the United States, and Michigan's 3 largest cities are Detroit, Grand Rapids, and Lansing. Michigan is a top 10 state to study. We have over 31,000 students from around the world studying at Michigan universities and colleges. And the state also has a long-standing reputation of excellence in training, educational services, and amazing student experiences. So let's dive into that a little bit now. Some of the unique benefits of studying in Michigan is the large range of colleges and universities. Michigan has many institutions, from specialist technology schools, private, public, and they're also ranging in size and academic offerings. We do have a high student population, so there are many college towns and plenty of opportunities to meet other students. We do have a below average cost of living for the United States, and Michigan is least expensive in the Midwest. This means an American college education for less within the state of Michigan. There's a rising urban development, which means financial growth and job opportunities. And more than half of the international students that study in Michigan, 57%, stay in Michigan for optical practical training after graduation.
Tara, may I quickly ask you to share your slides? Thank you.
Marty, I'm so sorry. Thank you for mentioning that. So college life in Michigan. College life includes sports, including American football, which is very famous here in Michigan. With an international outlook, there will be many opportunities to make friends who speak your language or can help you settle in. There's many opportunities to have social participation in clubs and organizations. There is an emphasis on one-to-one relationships with professors at many of our schools. And there is quite a large international community within the state of Michigan as well. Each of our schools will be presenting. We actually have one large presentation on financial aid and scholarships that will follow this session. But each of our schools do offer some type of admission or scholarship to students. So I just wanted to kind of recap how that is approached in the state of Michigan. So you do need to send applications to each individual college or university you wish to attend, and there may be a small application fee to apply to those schools. You do need to be mindful of deadlines, including terms and entry requirements, as they may be different for each of the universities that you talk to today. Please remember that tuition fees and scholarships can vary from school to school. But again, many of the schools do offer some type of aid package. So as you visit the schools today, please make sure that you are asking that question about financial aid and scholarships, deadlines, and application processes. As I mentioned earlier, it is spring right now, which means some beautiful flowers and many festivals that are running through the state of Michigan, including the Holland Tulip Festival, which is featured in one of the photos here in this slide. Summer is a great time to get out and explore one of the great beaches along the shoreline, or one of the great sand dune locations that we have in Michigan. Fall is followed by a lot of great fall festivals and wonderful, beautiful fall leaves. Winter is a time to play in the snow, to go skiing, snowmobiling, build a snowman, build a snow person, have fun in the snow. We do have 100 public beaches and some of the highest freshwater sand dunes in the world. We also contain 2 national shorelines. If you've never seen a lake within the state of Michigan, just want to tell you, you cannot see the other side. It looks like an ocean, it feels like an ocean, it sounds like an ocean, but it is in fact a lake. Michigan has a diverse economy and is widely known as the center of the US automotive industry. It is home to 3 major automobile companies, and Michigan is a center of beauty, manufacturing, agriculture, services, and high-tech industry. Michigan's also a great and awesome place to study, with lots of opportunities for international students to get involved in one of the many organizations, businesses that are in the state of Michigan. So we do encourage you to explore the many great colleges and universities that are attending today and discover how you can study in Michigan as well.
Great, thanks so much, Tara. Great topic, obviously, with to kick off our first Study Michigan virtual fair. Can you talk a little bit about just you talked about the range of institutions that are attending, that are participating in today's fair and that are available in the state of Michigan. But can you talk a little bit about maybe the differences in degrees that are available too? Because sometimes colleges can mean different things depending on where you are in the world. But maybe talk about what the kinds of schools that are participating today, the 31, what degrees that they offer and what that means, difference between undergrad and graduate programs, that type of thing.
Yeah, great question, Marty. So some of the colleges and universities that you will see today, as Marty explained earlier before the presentation, there will be some community colleges here. There will be some colleges, some universities. And what does all that mean? It means that they have different offerings and degrees and perhaps certificates. So some of the colleges and universities you talk to today may have certificates. They may have associate's degrees that usually take 2 years, bachelor degrees that usually take 4 years, and graduate degrees, and that could mean master's degrees or doctoral degrees. It's really important as you talk to the schools and universities today, go ahead and ask them what kind of programming, what kind of academic programs they have, and how many degree levels do they have within that academic major. But you're going to see a wide variety today as you sift through the schools. You're going to see, as I mentioned, many different levels of degrees and certificate programs that the schools may offer.
Wonderful. Thanks so much for that answer, Tara. Now, when it comes to Michigan, you talked about the 4 seasons and where Michigan is in the United States. So I think students will appreciate geographically. You mentioned we're close to the Canadian border. and bordering Canada. Talk about a little bit more about the environment or the diversity of environments around the state of Michigan that really reflect just how welcoming and inviting the state can be.
Right. There, as I mentioned earlier, there are many international students that study within the state of Michigan, and Michigan is one of the top 10 destinations within the United States to study. Because of that, you really feel that diversity in many of our cities throughout Michigan. And it's very apparent as you walk through many of our schools as well. As you walk through campus, you're going to feel the diversity in the programming and the events that are offered. If you're a student, you're going to feel that diversity perspective being brought out into the classroom. So some of the top cities that I'm going to name off that probably have the most diversities, Ann Arbor is one of them. And then Detroit, Grand Rapids, Lansing, but many of our schools and many of the towns and locations that the schools are in are also very diverse. So it's a very welcoming environment. And as I mentioned earlier, because Michigan is one of the top 10 states for international students to come and study, you will always have that opportunity to meet somebody who is very similar to you and just be able to connect and create a close friendship with them as well.
That's great, Tara. I know we're coming just at the end of the time for this first session, so thanks so much for that. Now we'll shift gears and get to our second